The burning questions today. What went down at the 2017 North American Grip Sport Championship? Have we witnessed the dawning of a new age? Has there been a changing of the guard? All this and more will be answered on This Week in Grip. This is Jed. I'm joined by Alan, as always. Here it's episode 19. We ended up taking a week off last week. Looking back, we would have just done it last week while I was driving back. But, guys, I was totally exhausted. But we're going to cover everything now in the detail that Nationals requires. We're not going to cover a lot of feats today. So, if you've put something out there, we might end up missing it this week, but we'll catch up with you as soon as we can. Also, I'd like to ask everybody to give a like to the video because that actually is very important on YouTube. You must hit the like button if you could help us out. It's extremely important for how the video ranks, and it will get more people seeing these episodes and help people realize that there actually is some very cool stuff going on with grip sport and grip training. And remember, everybody, it's all about spreading the word. And the first rule of grip sport is you tell everyone about grip sport. Alan, how have you been, buddy? It's nice talking with you. What's been going on?
Oh, I've been doing real good. Just gearing up for training, getting ready for SJ4 right around the corner. Things have been going, they've been going all right. How about things for you?
Good, man. It was a kind of rough week. Lost one of my grandparents over the weekend. It was my dad's mom. So that actually was going on while Nationals was taking place. So that was kind of rough. I was actually torn because I was at a point where I could have turned around if my family needed me to, but they said, no, go ahead and get things done. So took care of all that stuff during the week. Now it doesn't have to go through all the health issues that she was going through for quite a time, and we were able to share some good memories about her and lay her to rest here over the last week. So that was a downer, but like I said, she doesn't have to suffer through what she was going through for so long. Training-wise, got back into it this week, met up with Luke up at the gym in Towanda. First time being up there in a while, hit some good numbers in preparation for SJ4. So that was the first dedicated workout that I've done for that. And then yesterday squeezed another hour or so of grip in. So, yeah, we're going in the right direction here, man. But the question on everybody's mind is Nationals. So let's start covering that, dude.
All right, can't wait.
Yeah. So I don't know if you saw, Alan, but I kind of brought a surprise with me to Nationals this year. Because of the trip being so long from Pennsylvania and the fact that I was driving, I asked if it would be cool if I spent the night at Paul Knight's house on Thursday. And then I ended up talking him into riding along with me. So it was an awesome trip. I got some stories on film. Naturally, I missed, almost everything. At a couple points, we were laughing so hard we were crying, driving like 80 miles an hour down the superhighway. So that was interesting. But, Paul Knight made an appearance at Nationals this year.
I saw that. I caught those couple YouTube videos, so that was good. Glad to see he was able to make it there. So it looked like he even took an attempt at one of the grippers. I didn't see what the rating was, but it looked like he was playing around with them a bit anyway.
Yeah, the grippers is a top in itself, man. The grippers were extremely tough this year. And as you know, we use the same set grippers. I believe we've been using them ever since 2014, and they were all acquired through Matt Cannon at Cannon Power Works, and they're all beef builder grippers, and they're arranged in 5-pound jumps. So it's a collection that's pretty much dedicated to nationals. They've never been used anywhere else, but I don't think they've gotten like the maintenance attention that they need, and they felt very, very tough, very stiff. They seemed to really bind up at the end. A surprise to everybody was that Gil was not able to get an official close right-handed. He started out with, I believe, a 185 and missed by quite a bit, and then he began, on each following attempt, he would drop 5 pounds and just wasn't able to close one. So I felt terrible for him. I've been there, man. I don't think I've ever missed grippers, but I've zeroed out in a couple comps over the last 5 years, and it's just not a good feeling, So once the right hand, once the attempts right-handed were all done, there was maybe a 10-minute break or so, and Paul grabbed the 170, which I missed 3 times, I believe, and he either closed it right down, no warm-up, or came within a whisker. He kind of was at an angle where I couldn't see perfectly, but it looked like it was closed, and then later on he tried it again, and he didn't get it, but you couldn't have fit like a credit card in between the handles. So his strength retention without training is just insane. And his ability to close like an upper-level gripper with no warm-up, just amazing. I cannot. I just simply can't do it. I can't close a gripper that hard without warming up.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. Yeah, it looked to me, I couldn't see very good in the video either, but it looked like at least the people around him were convinced he had it shut. So, yeah, good for him. That's amazing, hanging on to that kind of strength like that. So, sweet. Yeah. Feedback across the board was that the grippers were hard. I don't know. It's possible that people PR'd. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But there was some visible rust on some of the grippers. So I think probably they need to be taken out of the box and probably hit with a little oil. I don't know. But it would probably be good just for the longevity of the grippers. But even if that didn't happen, I mean, everybody's squeezing on the same grippers. That's the nice thing about it is it's not just, a few people that have to struggle with the difficulty. It's everybody that's got to close those same grippers. So, it was tough across the board. I'll tell you, man, my hands felt like they were swollen during the gripper event. Like they've never felt that way, and it actually felt like I was having trouble making a fist during the gripper event with both hands. And the only thing I can really point to is the fact that I the day before or the morning before I left on Thursday, I grabbed so like my second favorite sandwich to eat is ham salad, behind pickle loaf, right? Well, pickle loaf is I knew that was your first, yeah.
That's exactly. Pickle loaf is the best. And then after that, it's ham salad. It always takes me back. Every once in a while, we'd be out shopping with my mom as a kid, and we'd stop at, it was called Shore's Shortstop. It was just a little deli / mini convenience store back in the 80s, man, and we would get ham salad sandwiches from there. And I was like, you know what? There's no food in the house. I didn't plan well enough to, like, make a bunch of food ahead of time, so I grabbed a pound of ham salad, like in a bowl, and I almost got 2 pounds, but luckily I only grabbed 1. And I ate 1 sandwich right away before I left, and I made, I believe, 5.5 sandwiches. Like one was just a folded over, and I ate all of them. I ate all of them by the time I got to Paul Knight's house. So, needless to say, that's not great food choice 2 days before the biggest contest of the year. But, to make matters worse, I think I ingested so much more salt, so much more sodium than I'm used to, bro, that, like, I weighed in at 261. 261. That's the heaviest that I've competed at since 2012. So I think the salt was just so plentiful in my body. It was like everything was swollen up. And literally my finger joints felt like I was squeezing almost putty in between my fingers when I was trying to squeeze everything. So it did not equate well to top performance in grippers. Did not help my cause at all.
Now, the second you mentioned deli ham salad, I knew exactly where you were going with that. I've encountered that too. It's always the saltiest, but the best tasting type of lunch meat. So yeah, great. But yep, I can imagine what that did to you, water retention wise. So yep, nice.
Yeah, so I've got the results up from nationals. It's I only just glanced at them when I got home once they were posted. So everything's by weight class, but it's listed as total because at nationals we do both right and left hand. So Tanner Merkel actually came in first place for his gripper total with a total of 320, and then it was Aaron Corcoran with a total of 315, and then I was third with 310, and then John McCarter put up a real good number of 300. So that's the top four, and that's spread out throughout body weight. Like Aaron and I were going head to head in the 100 kilo class. John was in the 105s. It was Gil, Jason Gonzalez, and Eric Rusin in the 93 kilos. Adam Junker, Tanner Merkel, Mike Rogowski, and Phil Kashaba were in the 83 kilo. And then I left a couple people out of the 120s. It was actually Aaron Corcoran and myself, Delmar Carter, and Andrew Pankey. Tim Fox was alone in the 120-plus weight class. And then we had two women competitors, Emily Winters and Annette David. And then in the junior class, we also had Brixton Maisels. So 17 people overall, I believe. So yeah, that was the gripper event. What else to talk about there? What was interesting was Gil was going to, I don't know if he wasn't going to take a left-handed close or if he was just going to shut it down for the day. But we kind of talked him into, Paul and I kind of talked him into taking a left-handed attempt, and he took one attempt at 165 and absolutely crushed it. It was like no problem. It looked effortless. So, who knows? He might have had more in him left-handed, but he put that one up and stuck with that one. So that's about it.
Well,
what else on grippers?
He's always been real even on his gripper work too.
Yeah.
So the fact that his right was off so much, that's I thought that was a little odd. I figured he would have done real good. So yeah, it must just been a bad day there. So
yeah, I mean, every once in a while you have a bad day.
Yeah, Tanner, what did I only see? It's only showing. I'm not seeing individual grippers that he closed. Yeah. What he had closed to equate to that 320.
I think he closed the 160 with each hand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
I believe so. If not, it might have been like 165, 155.
Sure. Yeah, those grippers, they must have been exceptionally stiff too, because I see, Phil Kashaba had I don't know which hand is his dominant hand, but his total was 290, and in the past he's always been shutting some monstrous grippers with, I think it's his right hand, hitting in the what? Yeah. He hits almost 180, doesn't he?
Yeah, he did. If I remember, yeah, he did 179 at Aaron Corcoran's place in Arizona in March.
Yeah.
So I think everybody's grippers were off. It's definitely not like. There was no problems with the knurling. Let's put it that way. my hands were inflamed from the knurling. They are so sharp. So it's not like the grippers are getting beaten up sitting in that box all year long. It's just, they're not getting used, so they're not getting seasoned. And I think they were just bound up a little bit from probably a little bit of dust. They weren't exceptionally rusty. It's not like they're all, caked in brown oxidation or anything like that. It's just that, I did see a couple spots of rust on some of the lower grippers when I was warming up. But after that, man, I wasn't even looking at the spring. So I really have no idea. But, hey, it is what it is. And like I said, everybody's got to close the same grippers. So.
Yeah, they're all the same thing. Right.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, so, my thinking, I'm just trying to Corcoran's set, man, he wastes no energy on the set. I just can't believe how strong he is on the set. It's so fast. And I was like, all right, just try to stay close to this guy. And I knew, with my hands the way they were feeling, and 2 days of driving, dude, 5 hours or so on Thursday, and then 10 or 11 hours driving Friday. And then we get to the hotel on Friday night, and my reservation didn't go through. So I was like, I was looking for a cheap hotel on Hotels.com, and the reservation didn't go through. So I got a PayPal notification, but I never actually got a confirmation from the hotel website itself. So Paul and I are sitting there thinking, what the hell? What's going to go on now? Luckily, we were in some kind of like a complex on the outskirts of Nashville, and there were like 3 or 4 other hotels right across the road. So we were able to slip into a hotel across the road there real easily. But there was only one room left in the hotel we had attempted to get into. So it's just not what you want to have happen after a 10, 11-hour drive, that you find out you don't actually have a hotel that you thought you had,
That's something that, yes, that's been a concern of mine too. And with the upcoming competition, it's like you think you've got everything lined up, and then it falls apart out of your control. So, well, yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, man. I think I made obviously I thought I made the reservation, but I think I did it in the car while Paul was taking a powder break. So, it was kind of rushed, and I wasn't really paying attention, and then, I got the PayPal notification, so I figure we're good. But
so you did this while you were traveling. This wasn't done necessarily beforehand, like weeks out. This was like the day before.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. The morning
okay.
Of. The morning
well,
of.
that might have been asking for it a little bit then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably not the best way to do it, but I don't know. I just never got around to it. The one thing was, like, someone was saying that in Nashville that weekend there was some kind of Grand Ole Opry or something, country music, and I don't know. If there was, I didn't hear anything about it, but I was kind of, like, stressed out that we wouldn't get a room, so at least that thing I prioritized it. I think it was at the first gas station that we stopped at when I did it. And then, what else ended up going on is Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh hockey team was in there for an NHL, what are they called in hockey when 2 teams play? Is it a game? A hockey game? Hockey match? I don't even know.
Yeah, I guess I just would have called it a game. Maybe that's not the term.
Yeah, I don't.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, I don't know anything about hockey, dude. So I couldn't tell you, but whatever. The 2 teams were supposed to be competing against one another that night on Saturday. So then we were like, what's the traffic going to be like? Are people going to be all through town tailgating, getting crazy, rioting, stuff like that? Dude, we didn't see anybody. There was Pittsburgh jersey. I don't even know what team Nashville has for hockey. I didn't see. It didn't look like any hockey were out in the park we were at. So I don't know how big Nashville is. I don't know if that's like a New York City type city, if it's like more spread out and Dude, I don't even know. I have no idea. So you've been there before. What is Nashville like a serious metropolitan area or what?
You know, I guess I assumed it was, but I don't really know either, because the time I was there, it was for King Kong a couple of years ago. I was so crunched for time, I got in late the night before, was there for the competition, and left early the next morning. I never even got to see Nashville. So that was no appreciation for the size at all, I guess. I would assume it's a decent size, but just no real idea.
Yeah. Well, where we stayed, the hotel where we stayed, it had a Nashville address, and it was 17 minutes to get to the location at the Summer Squeeze. So I don't know what that means. Maybe that's a big city. I mean, I didn't think there was a lot of traffic or anything. It was actually kind of an easy drive to make that morning. It wasn't stressful. So I don't know. Who knows? Yeah. What else? Anything else on grippers that you want to know, Alan? I don't want to keep you in the dark on anything, bro.
No. I think we're covered there. I was curious about that two-hand pinch event. Because it looked to me like was Aaron Corcoran's number, was that the highest we'd seen pulled on that apparatus at Nationals?
Well, that's a good question. What does 114?
Because I thought he hit
pounds.
I thought he hit 250 plus on that. Let's see here.
I definitely think he did.
That was 250.8.
So, 250.8. I think Cody's lifted more than that on the apparatus. I think my best is like 243 or something like that. But I think Cody's been up over 114 before, if memory serves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But that's a good question. Aaron was definitely on top of his game for the pinch. I mean, the lifts he made were easy. They all looked easy. They didn't look hard until his fourth attempt when he missed, or his last attempt when he missed. I don't remember if he took 4 attempts. But so just in case anybody doesn't know, there are 2 dedicated Euro setups for Nationals that don't get used for anything except for Nationals. And I believe that's been going on since 2014 as well. So these are not like really seasoned pinch apparatuses or anything like that. They felt fine. Don't get me wrong. It's not like they felt like glassy or anything like that. They felt fine. The chalk seemed to be sticking well. It's just there's a lot more seasoned apparatus around than these 2 that we use. The one that Gil has is it looks like. Have you ever grabbed onto roofing shingles?
Yeah.
His is like really rough. Like I'm sure
his personal one.
His personal one. Yeah, he had it for warm-ups. So it was really rough. That would have been like a joy to pinch on. That would have been interesting, I think. But it was just there for warm-ups and all. But again, like, man, I just don't know what it was. Whether it was the cumulative effects of the driving, the bad eating, or what. I felt sick throughout the whole thing. Like I was shaking. It was like my hands were shaking. I felt like my heart was racing. It was the weirdest thing ever. So, man, it was just a bad day for health to not be in tip-top shape. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but other than that, I mean, I didn't hear a lot of complaining about like the surface of the Euro or anything. I think everybody, felt okay with it. And again, when I wasn't lifting, like I was like off in the other room trying to eat, trying to drink. There was one point where I laid down on my tote. I was trying to like get my head clear, man. So I don't know. I didn't hear a lot of talk about the Euro or anything like that. But I mean, I'm looking at the numbers. I mean, it looks like people had pretty good numbers. I think the 2-hand pinch kind of hurt Tanner it was kind of like his only chink in his armor, because I see that he topped out at 86.4 kilos. So I suppose that event in itself hurt him. As we're going to talk about, he was able to bounce back from that, no problem. But I would say that was his toughest event on the day. John McCarter looked like an absolute machine on the two-hand pinch. That was very impressive watching him lift. I really liked the way he approaches the two-hand pinch. Looked really solid. Tim Fox got 86.7, and I don't even know if he's ever even lifted on a two-hand pinch before, a Euro setup. Tim Fox in the 120-plus kilo class, his background is really more in feats of strength, like old-time strongman feats. He actually does strongman shows all over the country throughout the year. So I don't know how much pinching he's done in his time, with grip. So not sure, but and then the women did well. They were close. Yeah, they were close. So 40.8 kilos for Emily Winters, and then Annette David got 43.3 kilos. So that was close. That makes for a good showdown there as well.
Was this their first time at nationals? The women competitors?
Yes. I hope to get this right. And that's the 43 kilos is 95 pounds, so that's almost hitting the 100-pound mark for Annette. And Annette, I believe, is Phil Kashaba's girlfriend. So I believe I've got the names correct. And then Emily is a competitor from Maria's gym, Maria Becerra. So she trains at Southern Squeeze. So, and then I thought Maria was going to compete, but I guess she decided not to at the last minute in order to keep the contest running smoothly. I was pumped to see the numbers that she would put up this year after having her first appearance at nationals last year as a competitor. But I guess she wanted to just be on like the organizational side of it.
Well, it sounded like one of the judges, somebody that was going to be helping out, wasn't able to make it. So
I guess I didn't
because she had to step into that role. She felt as if, at least my understanding was, she thought it might have been some bias if she would have judged and competed at the same time. So that was the way of kind of keeping it legit. And I absolutely understand that. It's unfortunate, but it made sense.
Yeah, it's too bad. Well, it just stinks that you put all the work in and then unable to compete. So, I always I never have a problem with promoters competing. I like to see how everybody does, you know what I mean?
Right,
but,
right.
Yeah, but I can see where she's coming from on that. So hopefully I've got those names correct. Yeah, I've got them correct because I know that the first place winner was Phil's girlfriend, so that's Annette. And let me tell you something, man. You've never seen anybody so full of energy at a grip contest, with the exception of maybe Chris Andrade's son. You've never seen anybody bouncing around the room. Annette was jogging up and down the road doing jumping jacks. She was doing there's a movie from the 80s where it's like they talk about this combat sport where it's like a mixture of dance and fighting. Do you know what that movie was or what that dance was called? I can't remember.
Well, there's a form called capoeira.
That's what it is, brother. Right?
Yeah, and the movie that comes to mind is Only the Strong. I think that was from the end of the 90s, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
It had what was it? Mark Dacascos was, I believe, the main character in it. It kind of took place at like a high school in Miami or something like that. But she knows this. She knows this art.
Is that what it is?
Is that where you're heading with it? Is that capoeira?
Well,
That's what she was doing?
dude, that's what it looked like to me, man. She was doing like the step back thing and the rotational movement and stuff that they do in that movie.
That is awesome. Oh, I'd love to see that.
Yeah, she never stopped moving the whole time. Like, the whole thing on the day was like, I must conserve as much energy as I possibly can. And it was like the fact that I was conserving energy actually hindered my performance, I think, because I'm usually much more loose, and I think I actually made myself more stressed out than I should have. But she was able to stay very loose throughout the whole thing, had fun, she was smiling, she was bubbly. It was awesome. Like, a couple times I was like, man, I got to get some energy off her, you know. So it was pretty cool, man. You know, at one point I was just able to watch her run up the road, come back down, and we're not talking about a cool day. It was like in the 80s down there in Nashville, and we hadn't seen an 80-degree day here in Wyalusing, Pennsylvania yet. So I think that was another shock to my system. I just could not get regulated. But she was all over the place. Seriously, all over the place. It was crazy.
Nice.
Yeah. Yep. What else? What else do you want to know about the two Olympics, brother?
So was that one apparatus, or was this two apparatuses that you guys were running this year?
Yep, one apparatus.
Just one. Okay.
Yeah, I think and Aaron, I want to point out too that Aaron Corcoran was managing the software, the scoring software throughout the day, and I guess they thought it would be difficult to do that with two different apparatus. I think they just weren't sure if they would be able to manage both of them at the same time, so they went with just one. So probably in the past we've gone with two, but there's generally one that gets run a little bit more efficiently than the other. So you don't know how it's going to turn out, but that running just one is that the chalk accumulated better on the apparatus because more hands were on it. So, you know, every time someone goes up, they not only squeeze it, but they might also, you know, brush some chalk on it, hit it a couple times, you know. So I think more chalk ended up on there at the end of the event than in years past, perhaps.
Sure. It looked like it was seasoned good. At least
Yeah.
that's how it appeared to me. So, but so the way that was ran was a little different this year. It looked like in the past I remembered seeing it looked like some of the videos when it was done at Journey at Strength, as if they were going by widths on the event. Were they not? Where they would start at whichever width you pinched at. So everybody would do 54 millimeter that would compete at that, and then they go up to the next one. This one was done by differently, right? It was done by weight, and then they would adjust width on demand. Is that how that was contested?
Yeah, I couldn't really pick out the patterning for what exactly was going on this year. My brain was fried, and I didn't even ask, so I couldn't really figure it out. But yeah, they definitely were doing multiple width changes. So they would go like maybe, you know, 52, 56, 58, 54, you know, and
skipping around. Okay.
Yeah, and the tough part about that is sometimes it can get hairy. You know, having to unspin the collars and put the spacers in there. So you know, I've never done that in a competition at my house, and I even have the quick change set up where the collars are bolted and you can just move the spinners in and out. I always finish up the width, and then you know, it may mean that only one or two people are doing each width, but it definitely seems like it runs faster at my place doing it like that as compared to like I can't remember what we've done at nationals in the past, but I know at Grip Miss a lot of times they'll change the width over and over and over, and it just hasn't seemed very I don't know what the word, very efficient, I guess. So we always do we knock out one width, then we change the width, knock out everybody that needs to use that, etc. So yeah, that was one thing that was different.
Did the competition plates, did that throw anything off at all?
Say that again, Alan. I'm sorry.
The fact that that some calibrated plates, some competition plates were used, was that a wrinkle in anything compared to the typical 25s that we've seen used in the past?
I don't think
Any
so.
No.
No. I was actually curious about that too. In fact, I changed the way that I loaded my device in training in order to, kind of in anticipation of like a kinetic change, or at least a feeling change in the device. But no, I didn't notice that at all. Yeah, I was surprised. Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, it looked like things went fairly decent. So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody seemed to have some good numbers. I was just really surprised. Aaron Corcoran really hit it, pulling.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the 10K set him apart from the and you were the next one. You were the next one right behind him. So that's a pretty big jump. Yeah. So yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Good pinching.
Yeah, he did well. Absolutely. And then on the axle, I think he had more in him, but he strained a hamstring or pulled something in his, I believe, third attempt when he was going for 175, and he had to drop out of the axle. So that kind of changed things for him right there. And man, I wanted 175 so bad. I tried it 3 times, and I just could not get a good hold. The training for the axle up until this event was the best that's been for me in years. I was actually very confident that I was going to get 400 plus at nationals this year, and I just physically wasn't capable. It wasn't the axle, it wasn't the calibrated plates, it wasn't anything. I just couldn't. After my 170 lift, I just couldn't lock it out. I got it to lock out, but I couldn't get the pause necessary for the correct down call. So it was very frustrating. That really ticked me off. And I see that Tim Fox actually lifted that 175, so good for him. Looking over some more results, I see that Tanner got 162.5, and man, with some of the roughest deadlift technique that I've ever seen. He really, his hands were really so strong, dude. It's just amazing, and he just doesn't have a deadlift form. You know what I mean?
That's what. That was the consensus on the internet.
Yes, once he irons that out, dude. Oh my gosh, dude, he's got so much more left in him to pull on the axle, but it's really just his form that's holding him back. But I mean, the same can be said about two-hand pinch. There's a lot of people that I know have more pinch power in them than what they're showing, just because they're not optimizing things in their lifts. So Tanner's gonna, if he improves on that form, he's gonna be up around 400 pounds, no doubt about it. I want to say that I was extremely impressed with Jason Gonzalez. This is a guy that I've interacted with for years on Facebook and on YouTube, and man, he has just come so far in his grip lifting. He did fantastic on the thick bar, and I didn't even realize he got 33 points in the medley. He did fantastic to my 28. So just amazing how he did. 160 on the axle, and then I see 187.5 for both Eric Rusin, who is a thick bar monster, and Gil Goodman. I was outside in the grass laying there, and Dave Whitley was taking me through breathing exercises during that time, trying to get some semblance of physical order going on. I appreciate him going out there and helping me. I don't think it did anything for me physically, but I didn't even see the end of the thick bar. Like I said, I had no idea that Tim Fox got 175, and I wasn't sure where Gil and Eric ended up.
Yeah, those are some solid numbers too. Let me 412 and a half. So yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
Good for those guys. Yeah. Wow. Nice.
And Rusin, dude, is just like, dude, he's so lean. The guy has no fat on his body. His forearms, the old steel cables thing, man. It looks like there's twisted steel cables running through his forearms. I think we might have to institute like a metal detector that you have to walk through prior to the grip contest, because he may have some actual steel cables in there, bro.
Nice. Yeah, he always looks real strong. Yeah. And he puts up the numbers that go along with it. So good for him.
Yes, he does. And what else? What else on the axle, dude? Did you have anything else that you wanted to talk about there?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, no, I guess I don't think so. The medley looked interesting, pretty good.
Yeah,
a lot of variance in numbers there, even in the same weight classes.
Right.
Yeah, that's a little surprising. I don't know. I think that was laid out a little different too, so I'm not real familiar with how that went. I only saw a couple of the medley runs. I think I saw yours and maybe Tanner's. I think that was about it. So yeah, how was that?
Well, I'll tell you how it was set up. There were 3 categories of lifts. Categories probably isn't the best word. Basically, there were 3 divisions of lifts. So there was one for women and juniors. There was then an open division and then an elite division. And the way everything was scored, the women's and juniors were 2 points, the open was 3 points, and the elite was 4 points. And then for each inside each division, there were 10 categories or disciplines of grip lifts. So you had very narrow pinch in the mammoth coin. There was a hub in each section. There was a challenge dumbbell in each section, with the exception of the open, because the 150-pound challenge dumbbell wasn't ready in time for the contest. So they used one of those things that Tom Stabelli is training in a lot on his videos, attached to a gigantic kettlebell, a 150-pound kettlebell.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah. There was a wrist rotation, floor, supination, pronation movement. There was a plate pinch in each division. There was an anvil lift in each division. Let's see. There was a blob or block weight in each division. Let's see. There was a rolling handle in each division, and each one was a little bit harder in each class. And like I said, 3 or 4 points based on whether you completed the challenge. Some of the challenges were to load the item onto a platform, and there were 2 loading platforms there. And then some of them were to pull the implement 4 inches off the ground in order to get credit. So that way you're not judging lockout during a medley where you've only got a 60-second time limit. So
sure.
I thought the medley items, it was very challenging, but I was able to actually do pretty well in the medley. So maybe the breathing stuff that I did with Whitley did help me out a little bit. I was surprised that I didn't get the anvil during the medley, because I lifted it easily prior to the medley beginning. And then I missed the flask, loaded at 90 pounds, which I was getting easy throughout my training. And the hub, I knew it was going to be tough because I've got some index finger sensitivity going on in a couple of my joints. So that didn't go as well as I wished. But luckily, I didn't try to start on those from the beginning, the elite ones. What I did is I started on the open ones just because I knew there was a chance that I was iffy. So I got the 3 points on those, the flask and the flask and the hub lift. I got those knocked out right off the bat in the open division, and then I crossed over into the elite. I ate up too much time on the anvil. Looking back, hindsight's 20/20, just like the Megadeth song. So I should have. So the way the anvil worked, Alan, is 40 pounds added onto like a 130 anvil or something like that, and it was added with a steel ring. So it came off really easily. What I should have done is taken a couple attempts on it, realized I wasn't going to get it, and then stripped the weight off. And in fact, someone in the background said, strip the weight off or knock the weight off, but I didn't hear it. So, and then I never did it and never went back to it and tried it, or else that would have been another 3 points that I would have gotten. But, you know, sometimes, you know, when you're faced with getting all those challenges inside 60 seconds, your mind just doesn't work right. So that ended up being my downfall on the anvil. You know, I probably should have gotten the flask lift. Don't know why I didn't. There's really no reason, except for I probably just didn't take the time that I needed to in order to get my grip on there. Probably rushed it a little bit. I don't think there's anything else that I missed doing. I totally skipped the rotation. The floor rotation seemed like it was going to eat up too much time on me, so I didn't do that. And I think the only person that actually did the open level floor rotation was Jason Gonzalez, so that got him 3 points. Man, he just did awesome. He even lifted the inch dumbbell after the competition, not the steel inch that was in the medley, but like an actual Selene iron 172 inch. He was able to lift that to near lockout, and someone got it on film. And I think he actually lifted it higher than that previously, but it wasn't on film. So, you know, he did really well. I didn't realize that he got 33 points in the medley. That was 1 point right behind Tanner, who got 34.
Right.
Tanner lifted just about every single heavy item. So I can't think of what he missed. You know, he didn't do the floor rotation, so he didn't get that. But, I mean, as far as the lifts, he got, I think, all of the elite level lifts. So
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like he had a really good run. Yeah, that's amazing. Yep, he was the first, and Jason Gonzalez second, and it looks like you had the. No, you weren't. You weren't third, were you?
In the medley, no, I only got 28. Yeah, it was Tanner had 34, Jason had 33, and then Tim Fox got 30. So I don't think I got his on film. I don't know if I even saw it, to be honest with you. So I don't know what he got. Aaron got 24 points. Yeah, I didn't see it. He could have put it up on his Facebook or something. Maybe his wife was there, so maybe they got it on film, but maybe it hasn't been uploaded yet. I don't know. He did well, and then so Tanner ended up with 394 points in his weight class. That gave him the first place position for the 83 kilos. And then I didn't even see this one here. There was a final results in the overall standings, but he got first. And then I didn't even realize. I guess I came in second in the overall, which I didn't even know that. Like it wasn't really talked about. I was there, so I don't know how that happened. But whatever. But I mean, Tanner was unbeatable. He was extremely impressive, and I think it just goes to show you that just because men are in the lower weight classes, that doesn't mean that they're going to be, you know, down at the bottom of the rankings. Tanner has amazing ability, tremendous grip strength, big hands. He's an awesome dude. So. I think we're going to see him finishing high in grip contests for a long, long time. I think he's only like 24.
Oh yeah. Real young guy. Yeah. No, I had high expectations for him. I knew he'd come out and do really good. The placing in that division in particular, that was how I picked it to go down. I figured he would take first, and then Phil Kashava, and then Mike Rogowski is what I saw happening. So. Yeah, that was real solid. So just a little bit of two hand pinch, and then like you mentioned about the axle, and sky's the limit for him. So those are some solid numbers. Yep.
Absolutely. Real nice meeting, Adam. Oh, go ahead, buddy.
Well, no, and considering some of those things that he doesn't really even mess around with, and how well he really did, that's the really interesting part. So yeah,
right.
Good for him.
Yeah. It was nice meeting Adam Junker. I wasn't familiar with him prior to the event. Real nice guy. Seeing Jason Gonzalez was nice again. Pat Mazels, he's been to the house. I've interacted with him for years online. John McCarter, another guy that I've interacted with, never met him. It was good meeting him. He was so intense. Delmar Carter, haven't ever met him before. Great seeing him. I had never met Tim Fox. That was awesome. The women, Emily and Annette, I think they've got a lot of potential for grip sport, and I hope they stick around with it. The fact that Emily trains there at Southern Squeeze, I think she has the opportunity to get really, really good at the events and do a good showing at her next contest. And then, of course, Brixton, if he can keep his hands off the fidget spinners and get him on some grippers and some other implements, I think he's going to be really good in the junior class for a while, and eventually when he becomes an adult, he'll be kicking all our butts, man.
Nice. Was this the first time we've had a junior competitor?
At nationals, yes. I can't remember any other juniors that have ever been at nationals.
Cool. All right. Well, had to get started sooner or later. Nice. Maybe get more for next year. And I'm assuming that's going to be an open type of thing, like with the women's division. No qualification. You're just is that how the idea is behind that?
Yeah, that's how it is currently.
Okay.
I mean, that was kind of Maria's call on having him compete. I knew he was coming. I wasn't sure if he was competing, but he also does Olympic weightlifting too. So he's not a stranger to competition. I think he's got a competitive streak, and probably he's looking forward to having an opponent. You know what I mean? So
sure.
Yeah, but I think his dad loves grip too, Pat. So there's going to be more grip contests at Mazel's gym there in Maryland. So you're going to see a lot from Brixton, and I hope that he comes up and goes against Andrade in the future. And I know that we've got some other grip guys with youngsters that come along with them, and I hope that they compete too. It's really good to see. Always good to see the young generation coming in and taking part in the sports.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. Cool.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it was a good event, and that pretty much wraps it up, dude. I think probably finish it up there, and next week we'll go over the regular stuff from everything that's been going down the last couple weeks and this week in grip. You think so, man? Yeah.
Yep. That sounds good. So okay. All right. Well, I guess that's the This Week in Grip 19, the Nationals recap. Hey, congratulations to everybody. Tanner, Jed, Eric, a lot of good placings there. Lots of solid numbers. Hope to see some even bigger numbers next time around. Everybody, make sure you like the video, share, subscribe, and we'll be back next week with another one. We'll see you then.